Hello everyone and welcome back. Meat Department here. I'm so glad you could join me for another video today. So in today's episode, we will be covering the player suggestions for February 2021. So this is the second episode we've had of this. Started it in the beginning of the year, and all of these player suggestions are from players like you. These were taken directly from the Giant Simulator suggestions thread in the Mithril Games official Discord. So that is where all of these suggestions are originally coming from. Now I am editing them somewhat just for grammar purposes and presentation, but I'm not taking away any of the essence of what you say in these suggestions. Now, I am not any decision maker for the game. It's just I like to go through these and see what you all have to say and give my opinion on it, and whether or not I think it's a good or a bad idea. I'll either approve it or deny it, that kind of thing, have a little bit of fun. So if you see your suggestion on here, why don't you leave it in the comments below and let me know that I picked yours out of the Discord for today's video. So let's go ahead and get this started. So the first one up is a pretty good one. It says, a giant simulator version of King of the Hill. One person can be the master giant or something. Rewards could be same as a snowflake drops currently when you become the master giant. So basically, what they're saying is, let's have an active game mode that actually promotes active gameplay amongst everyone in the server. So, you know, when I first saw this giant hill right here in the very center of the town, I thought, hey, wouldn't this be a good King of the Hill spot right here? I mean, why else is there a big hill right in the middle of town? Now, this is a non-PvP town, but what if this area was actually contested and you could come up here and fight and claim it? That's kind of cool. This could be like an example King of the Hill right here. Or they could put something out in the world. But either way, there could be a little circle here on the ground like we've seen with snowflakes, soul gems, all that good stuff. And you can get a nice bonus that ticks in for locking it down. That would be kind of cool. I think that would be awesome. To have a spot where you can get active resources, or maybe if you hold it for a certain amount of time, you can loot a chest, or you get some sort of loot or something, a bonus, a buff, whatever the case may be. Obviously, it has to be balanced out between public and private servers, because it should be like an active gameplay type of thing. When you come in, you could hold it down against other players. That would be kind of fun, actually. So I think this is a pretty cool idea, having more features and game modes, period, that promote PvP and just players interacting with each other or just completing actual tasks that aren't just the quests. I think it's a good idea, so I'm going to give this one the approval. Good job on that. So the next suggestion up is, instead of max upgrades, how about like being able to upgrade 10, 100, or 1,000? You know, that's not a bad suggestion either. I've seen this one over and over again, and you know, I can agree with you. Although I don't think it's the end of the world just to have the max upgrade button itself. I think it would be nice to have a couple other options, at least 10, 100, 1,000. How many times do you want to try upgrading it? So that you could pretty much divvy up the gold you have amongst your two weapons and your skin without dumping everything into one and then being, you know, out of luck with the rest. So I think that's a good thing to implement in the game system-wise. So for that, I'm going to give it the approval. All right. So moving on to suggestion number 3. Increase the speed in Cave, Town, the Temple, and the Winter Place. So, yeah, this one is actually a suggestion that went live already. So we see already running throughout the Castle Town, going into the Winter Portal, pretty much anywhere that's not the main world itself where you can go out and collect orbs and fight other players. Anything that's not like that, you pretty much get other speed. Borak, the Temple. So that's nice, because now you could really hunt down these gnomes here and take them out. It also just helps you get around town faster, and there's nothing wrong with that. So that's already implemented in the game, so I'm going to go ahead, of course, give it the stamp of approval. Moving on to suggestion number 4. Make it more obvious how to get better and what to do. Maybe with a more in-depth tutorial and more signs. This is because I always see noobs running around without artifacts or something, and it shouldn't take long to get one. They probably didn't know about them. I'm going to agree with that. I think there needs to be an updated tutorial. Now it's been a while since I did the new player experience and actually read it, but I believe probably it's not in there about the artifacts, because I see a lot of new players as well, and they're a pretty decent level where they should have already done enough quests to basically get their artifacts. They're only 1,000 quest points. Now that does take a little bit of time when you're starting out, but once you get the train rolling and you get the higher level quests, it's not that hard. Plus there's some codes that may or may not be working at this point if you're looking online for those. So I think the tutorial could probably be enhanced, the new player experience, for sure. A lot of the new players, you know, the game constantly cycles in a huge portion of new players into the game. It's not just the diehards that play it nonstop. So that is a good suggestion. I'm going ahead and give that the approval. So next up, number 5 on the list is there should be a chest that spawns on the map, and the harder to break it, the bigger the reward. I think that's a cool idea as well, having like drops, loot chests, whatever the case, supply crates, anything like that drops in random areas of the map, and you know, you can go fight it, break it open, and reap the rewards. Who knows what it'll be? It'll probably just be a bundle of stuff like gold, soul gems, whatever the case may be. You know, might even have a chance to drop actual weapons and armor, that kind of thing. I think that's a good idea, and again, it promotes more active world gameplay. So it makes you want to keep coming back just to have a little bit of fun, and I think that's a good idea for the game. So I'll go ahead, and I think that's a good idea. Give that an approval as well. Number 6 on the list. You should be able to do more than one quest. You know, I do definitely agree with that, because as I'm sitting here right now, I'm on the quest to hunt gnomes 125 times. So although I could sit here and hunt gnomes 125 times, it would be nice to have multiple quests that you can accomplish. And really the significant part of that is, if you're waiting for the arena to spawn or Borak every 2.5 minutes or so, well, you can go maybe try to get the other quests. Is it orbs? Is it gnomes? You know, you can do more of the active quests while waiting for some of those timers. So I think that's a good idea. Plus it allows you to, you know, collect rewards a little bit faster, which would help with the power spike and increase in the game, and probably will be most beneficial for the newer player again, because they'll be able to gather resources even that much quicker. So just overall, I think this is a good idea, being able to have more than one quest. So I'm going to go ahead and give this the stamp of approval as well. So next up here, number 7, add more NPCs to the game and more quests. So NPC stands for non-player character. That pretty much just means like non-players, right? Vendors. Sir Hopsalai, he's an NPC. Basically, just add more to the game, whether it be just to offer quests, maybe for some role play, I don't know, or maybe if they implement a way to, you know, spend some of your currency on buffs for the game, some buffs that last X amount of time. I think that would be cool, like potions or something. But whatever the case may be, it's kind of like having your own micro event in your pocket. Now, they shouldn't all just cost Robux. I think some should cost in-game currency that can be collected as well. So I think that's a good idea. It would make the game feel more lively, having more NPCs and just more things to do in different areas. So I'm gonna go ahead and approve this one as well. Next up, number 8 on the list. If there's gonna be shiny pets, we should hatch shiny pets like Dungeonfall, but we should also be able to make them too, not just unbox. So it's probably pretty inevitable that shiny pets are going to become a thing in the game. So I do think it's a cool idea. I've always thought shiny pets were a cool idea. Now I know in my last reaction or player suggestion video, I was leaning more towards against it and then denied it because of the power spike of the game. But, you know, that's inevitably going to happen thinking about it further. And I think shiny pets will definitely be coming in the game sooner than later. So I think it would be cool if you do have a small chance for one of your box openings to actually just automatically be a shiny. Now I'm talking that would have to be a real small percentage, right? And the reason I say that is because we're so used to the artifact system right now in the game where you actually combine the stuff together yourself to create a shiny or an evolved version. So I think that will probably be the standard system. Combine 5, 10, whatever, however many amount of pets to make it shiny and all that, which is awesome. But wouldn't it be cool if you also had a very tiny chance to just automatically get it? So if the version of the bully that's 0.1% or 0.5%, depend on lucky game pass or not, what if you have like I don't know, a tenth of a percent chance of that, like a 0.005% chance, whatever the case, it doesn't really matter. It's just all luck anyways. But I think it would be cool if you did unbox them and had the ability to combine. So since I do think shiny pets are going to be coming in the game at some point, it would be cool to have more ways to make them shiny. So that's a good idea, and I'm going to go ahead and approve that as well. So getting towards the end here, we have number 9, and this suggestion is add harder bosses for the players who do 30 damage. So they kind of already did this. If you go to the temple portal, the Demon King, you could do up to 50 damage. Now again, that's not an extreme amount of extra damage, and in fact, the Demon King doesn't even fight back. So, you know, that's not a bad thing, and that's tough enough for new players to actually do most of the time. But I agree. I think there should be, at least in updates, down the road, I think they should have an update for extremely high players as well. Probably want to release something for both types of players at the same time. But I know each update progressively gets better and better, and it's accessible to all kinds of players, right? Even the 50 million weapon chest that came out, that's accessible to newer players. It may take a little bit longer for you to get that, but that's the point. Stuff's not just handed to you right away. You still have the 100,000 chests, which are still strong, and you have someone to work for. Do you want to actually just do a ton of quests and everything, get 50 million gold to get a guaranteed upgraded weapon? Massively upgraded weapon? Go ahead. Why not make something that's even more extreme for even more developed players? Players like myself and others that are on the leaderboard. I mean, it's more easy than hard for us to get the stuff as they come out, as they get rolled out. So it would be nice to have something that's a little bit more challenging as well to really strive for. Just my take on it. So I think that's a good idea, and I go ahead and approve that one as well. So next up, number 10. There should be a thing where it is like 10 million or 100 million to level up your pet. So this is an interesting one. There should be a thing where there's like 10 million or 100 million to level up your pet. So I think that breaks away from the whole rebirth system, that your rebirths affect your pet leveling and all that. So I don't think we necessarily should be able to spend gold to upgrade the pets, unless it costs like a massive amount of gold, right? So it would be like a point where it's going to be very hard to do anyways. So I think a better way is just to update the skill tree itself. So we have 4 talents in there. One of them is to give XP, the other one critical strike chance. There's one for speed and one for gold. And really only 2 of those are actually useful in this modern era of Giant Simulator. And this is something that hasn't been updated since the release of the game, I believe. You could fact check me on that and let me know in the comments if I'm wrong. I don't really know from the early days, but critical strike is useless. At this point, speed is pretty much useless as well, because we're just overall stronger as players in the first place. So there's a speed cap. You get to that point and the rest of it doesn't matter. Critical strike, you go over 100%. It doesn't really increase any damage. It's just there. It's fodder. It's useless skills. So the game needs to evolve as well, and probably enhance the skill tree to be more relevant to today's game and the direction the game should go. I think you should just scrap the critical strike and maybe even the speed altogether. And, one of them could be a bonus maybe to your pets or something like that to help them level faster. There's a number of things they could do with skills to actually make it more relevant to how players are playing and grinding now, with the way things are. So I'm going to deny spending gold on leveling up your pets. I think there's better systems that could be. implemented. So I do think leveling up the pets, you know, it would be nice to maybe do something other than rebirths, whatever the case, but spending gold on it, I'm not quite sure. So I'm going to deny this one. And last up, number 11. A way to lock weapons and skins, mainly weapons though. Well, if they're going to add it to weapons and skins, they may as well just do both. So we could lock artifacts, we could lock pets. We should be able to lock weapons and skins as well, because nobody likes to accidentally, you know, sell their stuff. Or maybe if you're just mass selling or something like that, you just don't want to have to look for the lock and, you know, be wary of it. So yeah, I agree with that. I think we should be able to lock stuff as well, and I think that would be good. So I'm going to go ahead and approve that one as well. I think that is a great suggestion. So that was it. We went through 11 suggestions from you, the player, and this was all taken again from the Mithril Games Discord channels. So if you want to look at these more in depth, or any others that are in there, if you want to contribute to those, please head over to the Mithril Games Discord. I will put the link in the description below, so you can get there, verify, and get access to their Discord. I am in no way affiliated with Mithril Games. I am just looking at your suggestions and giving my thoughts on them, as I think it's an interesting thing to do, and you've all told me you'd like to know my opinions on some of your thoughts for the game. So that's what we did there. So I want to appreciate you if you stuck with me this long. Let me know if any of these comments were yours, or any thoughts you have on these suggestions, if you think they should have been approved, denied, or if you have any good suggestions for the game as well. I would love to read it and see what you have to say. So if you haven't already, please subscribe and smash that bell for notifications so you are informed when I do release new content. And as always, stay positive, keep swinging, and have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye.